Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Newsbeat Nightly. Wow, do I have a lot of things to cover? Um, where do we start? We got news flow coming in, bottoms and tops in the market, game plans, overnight swing trades, and of course, earnings season, which is going to be absolutely tremendous. I am so excited that it's here. I honestly cannot wait. I think any hint, just I'll put it out there right now. I'll put it out there early for you right now. Any hint that one of these companies misses or is not growing, it's going to be very hard to justify these rich, lofty valuations that we have seen. It's going to be difficult. I mean, tell me the name. Any name? What names do you like? What names do you trade? You know, Citigroup is reporting tomorrow. For example, we know Citigroup is reporting tomorrow. Could you imagine if Citigroup drops the ball? Maybe they won't. Not saying they will. But could you imagine? Oh, you didn't think it was going to be, you thought that was it for the banks this week? No, ladies and gentlemen. Bank of America reporting. We got Goldman Sachs reporting. We have Charles Schwab, all these brokers that the common average, quote unquote, the average Joe gets to trade on. We have, of course, Double A, Alcoa, all aluminum. That's why they're called Double A, by the way. Aluminum and coal, Alcoa as well. We have KMI reporting, Kinder Morgan. That's going to be big. And that's just for Tuesday and Wednesday. We have Morgan Stanley reporting this, and this is all happening this week, by the way, on this shortened week with Martin Luther King's Day today. Obviously, the market was everybody had off. A bunch of other little banks, transports. This is going to be big. See, nobody is talking about this right now, but JB Hunt is going to be the breath of the entire market for the week. Why? Why JB Hunt? Is it more important than Citigroup and Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley? Of course it is. These are the transports. These have historically led the markets in the directions in which we need to go. So it doesn't really matter if you play this or not prior to earnings. Again, we'll be looking at every one of these earnings every day, and if I feel like I have an edge in trading one of them, I'll pick it. That's it. And for me, it's never about cherry picking. I don't care how I do this week in earnings. I don't care how I do next week in earnings. I don't care how I do with the following few weeks during this earnings season. It's all about the total picture. I care about how I do overall. So give yourself some leeway if you're trading this. For example, give yourself an amount of money that you're willing to risk every trade. I think that's the easiest part, and I would do an equal dollar amount. So think of it like this. Maybe you want to play 20 names. Maybe you risk $1,000 per trade. Now, granted, the odds are you're not going to lose $20,000 by taking, $1,000, for example, worth of options on any of these ideas. You're probably not going to lose that much. You're probably not going to lose on 100% of your overnight ideas. I would be phenomenally impressed if you could do that. Like, that would be almost unheard of. The odds of that happening to me of that is almost like 2 to the 20th power with a 1 over. It's just astronomically small. I mean, what would that be? Let's say you had a 50% chance of calling the earnings right every time, right? Let's see, that'd be 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024, and you do that 10 more times, what do you get? 2048, 4096, 8192. I don't want to keep going. There's 7 more times that I have to multiply that number by 2. So it's just 1 in pretty much phenomenally large at that point. So odds are you're not going to lose on every trade, but that's how I would approach it. Traders are asking me how I approach it. That's how I'm going to approach it. Take a certain dollar amount. For me, it might be whatever, like $5,000 to $10,000. But just come out with whatever number you're comfortable with, and that's how I would go before all these earning seasons plays. Nobody's talking about it on Wall Street. There's no articles about it. Everybody is so caught up in the banks. That is bullshit. That is bullshit. You heard me? That is bullshit. I'll say it again. This stock, JB Hunt, is what you need to focus on for the macro picture. I'm not saying that BS meaning like we don't make money on some of them, but this is the one we need to focus in on. This is the one which is going to give me the entire breadth of the market. Let's say JB Hunt drops the ball. We might go into a bear market. You want to talk like the implications? Maybe they break even, maybe nothing happens, maybe they gap up, maybe they keep going. But yes, if one of the larger transports out there fail, that is an extremely big deal for the market. Okay? We have Schlumberger, Kansas City Southern, KSU, reporting as well this week. So we're walking into a myriad of different earnings ideas. Again, I can't tell you what your number is. I don't know what your trading accounts look like. I don't know what your risk tolerance looks like. I don't know what your goals look like. But I would come out with a number that you're just comfortable losing. Let's say you walk in, you make a bet, and you lose. It could be $100. If you have an options account, it's so easy. It's so easy to just say, all right, I'm risking $100 here. I'm risking $200, $300. You have if I had a $50,000 options account for me on these ideas, I would say that $500 I'd be very comfortable with doing that 20 times with the goal to take a bunch of them. That's just my take on it. But we will be having a lot of talks with that. I'm shocked kind of how the media, like a CNBC and everybody and all these Bloombergs, they're not highlighting this as one of the most critical names to report this entire week. You know, I think JB Hunt alone is more important than every single company reporting earnings this week combined, squared, times 10. Like, why isn't anybody discussing that? I have no idea. But I guess that's why we're here to point out the obvious, that shippers, transport, truckers do lead off the market. So if you think this market's going to rally, and it very well might, you're going to want to see JB Hunt beat across the board and gap up, of course. So with that being said, we also have my trendline course finally. So kind of a cool thing here. As you could see, a lot of this, it's thing, and the bottom line is it's $195 right over here, as you can see, which is the cheapest education course. You could sign up for this live event. If you are a member of my room, you get the following education for the entire year. No, it's not the same exact education. It's a follow-through. It's a follow-through. So you have to be a member of the room. You sign up for this education, and it's $195 for at least 12 classes, if not more. I'll say 12 now because you'll have it once a month for a year. You'll get 12 classes, but not more. I'm assuming it's once a month for a year. You're not going to have to pay for this class, but here's the importance of this class. It's going to teach you how to really read trend lines. You see, the problem with most educations out there, and again, I am not pitching or promoting. We are completely oversubscribed to this thing, and there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be forced into a recorded session, which it's still worth it. But again, let me just explain to you the true importance of this class and why you need to take it and why it's the most important thing. The problem with most educations these days are they try to simplify things. When you come to the public and you simplify something in the trading world, people love it. They think, oh, it's easy. I just do this and this and this, and then I win. And that's how I do it. I have a long here and a stop here, and that's really all there is to trading, right? But the problem is when they actually try to implement this strategy in a real setting, they start losing money. And they're like, what happened? I thought it was as simple as reading a candlestick. And then they have people out there, and again, they even advertised it for me, which Again, I don't write these advertisements. I actually found this hilarious. They actually said right over here, stopped getting fooled by moving averages. Yes, I use moving averages. No, if anybody out there says any form of technical analysis is useless, they don't know what they're talking about. So, I mean, again, ha 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 at the marketers who actually use that line. I could not disagree more than that sentence. Stop getting fooled. I mean, all right, stop getting fooled by moving averages. Sure, yeah, I don't like moving averages fooling people either, but don't for 1 second think that moving averages are not important. Don't think that every form of technical analysis isn't important. It's not about my way or the highway. And unfortunately, that's what most systems try to do. And their systems have the most successful systems in terms of education systems for producing money for the educator, not for the actual the person paying. The most successful thing you can do is to simplify it. Because once you have a simple method, you're infusing somebody with a false sense of confidence. They're going to step into the market and be like, "Oh God, I got this. This is I took this class. I mean, they showed me that all I really need is like candlesticks and screw the moving averages and screw these lines and screw this and I don't need any of it. I'm good. I'm good like this." And why I'm so passionate about it is because it blows people out. It blows people out. It's like ticking time bombs. Because what they do is as soon as you infuse confidence based on a methodology, you are giving the person's confidence based on what they learned. And if they can't produce money based on what they learned, you're going to blow them up. Confidence, and I repeat, should always and only be based on you making money off a trade. I don't care what you used. Don't think for 1 second that every single form of technical analysis out there isn't useful. It is. Every form of technical analysis out there is useful. Every single one. And I'm not here to teach you every single one, because the truth is I am also on my journey of trying to learn what are the best methodologies possible, what are the best parameters possible to make money in the market. That's the truth. And it's going to be a quest that I will be on for the rest of my life. And you will too if you want to continue learning. That is part of the market. Now, what this class is, it's a system I developed. It's a system I developed that I have used for top tier firms in showing them how to draw algorithmic lines. That's what it is. And we're going to be able to call tops and bottoms like we did on Intel. Like Intel is a perfect example when you guys were like, wow, how did you know the bottom on Intel, for example, right over here on January 4th. It was a combination of a trend line. It was a combination of moving averages, a combination of 5-minute charts. It was a combination of volume. It was a combination of a myriad of parameters that allowed us to do so. Why did I say at the bottom right here on January 10th that Intel was going to bounce the next day? And that was mostly based on just this trend line. So the bottom line is there's a difference between looking at something and being able to predict the future. The whole point of drawing a trend line for me is forward analysis, meaning you can predict the future with great accuracy of where a stock can top or bottom based on drawing these lines. I was doing a lot of work over the weekend, a lot of work for you guys, really. Like I was listening to other videos while I was designing and writing this whole course. Don't think this course was made like years ago and I'm doing it now. I haven't finished writing it. It's in 2 days. let's be perfectly clear. Old systems rarely work. Education programs that we're like, I love this. This is also, and I'm just listening to all these pitch lines and I'm like, wow, these guys are so full of it. And it's and it only angers me. I don't care if people are full of it. What do you think when I see like a McDonald's commercial and I see this like huge 3 pound juicy burger with the beef just falling out of the buns and this huge piece of lettuce and this gorgeous red tomato that was probably, you know, handpicked by Martha Stewart herself. And they show you this and they're like, it's 99 cents. And then when you buy it, you're like, what is this? See, I don't mind that. Because somebody's going to come in, they're going to spend 99 cents or $1.07 or whatever your state tax is. They're going to look at the thing and be like, oh, okay, I should have known that. I was suckered in by a commercial. And you're going to be out your dollar and you're going to eat the cruddy tasting hamburger. You're going to be like, that's delicious. You're going to feel like crap afterwards, and you're going to wake up the next morning. That's generally what happens with the punishment of a McDonald's commercial. But the punishment with an education course is an overall sweep of millions and millions of dollars in damage for other people. You see, at the end of the day, most educators, they all want you to do well in their course. I mean, don't misconstrue for 1 second that I think they're going to come to you and say, oh, yeah, we want you to lose money. Ha 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 ha. We got you. No, but at the same time, they are very aware that like 99% of the people who take the course are going to lose in trading in general. And they know that their methodology isn't that good. And the majority of the people teaching it are not actual traders. And that, to me, that drives me up a wall. I mean, if you're teaching somebody how to trade and you're not trading, why? You're teaching people generally to make money. Why aren't you trading? There is so much more money in trading than there is educating. Infinite more. It's not even remotely close. So why are you teaching people? Or maybe you're just a genuinely good person. You like helping people. I could relate with that. But why are you not trading? You're not trading because the BS that you're spewing to the audience is actually not what you can do to make money. And you know that, so it's easier and safer for you, instead of losing money trading your own methodology, to teach other people and hope, and collect the money that, they'll pay you for the training. And nothing makes me laugh more when you see an education system saying, this is the top rated education system for the past 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. You know what that says? Hi, we're outdated and we're going to teach you old information that might or might not have worked a long time ago. That's what they're doing. And I'm going to have a whole series on this. I'm going to have a whole series because at the end of the day, I need to reach out to people, and I just feel like I have to infuse them with the truth. Because I go around, and after the last open house, we had the largest successful open house for T3 ever. Thank you guys. That was the highest sign-up rate ever. We did really well on our last open house. So again, thank you for putting faith in this room, and really thank you for giving our room a shot. So, I feel like almost obligated, to tell people, facts and fictions about trading. And facts and fictions about all these trading gurus, all these trading rooms, all these trading systems, all these trading education courses. And T3, by the way, was only marketing my education course for, I believe they did it like 3 days ago or 4 days ago. Or 4 days total. Maybe they just sent it out yesterday, and it's going to be this Wednesday, this education course. So they're doing it because I talked them down on the price point completely. And they said, okay, well, if we're not going to be charging people, $2,000 for your course, there's only so much marketing budget that they could put in it. And I said, I'm fine with that. Because, again, I told them straight up, and just like I told you guys, I would rather have 21 people pay $195 than 20 people pay $2,000. And of course they asked me why. And I answered because that's one more person I can help. Just an honest, open conversation. So that's what it's about. And the whole point of this trendline course is to accurately predict the future. I see the way people draw trend lines. I even see it within the firm. I see it outside the firm. And I tell these people all the time, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you? They draw these trend lines and they're so vague. They give you like this wide support area, and what it does is it induces a false sense of confidence. They'll show you like a support zone, and it will be huge. They'll be here's a support zone here from 75 to $80 in a stock. Who the hell's gonna buy a stock at $80 and watch it drop 5 points in their face? For a short term trade. Like, who's going to do that for like a 1 week trade? Who's going to do that? No one. So, drawing support lines is actually a very exact technique. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, it's my job to try to make this as easy as possible, but this is not going to be one of those courses where you come in, you're like, I'm just going to sit on my ass, listen to Mark talk, and I'm going to come out and be a guru. That's not going to happen. You're going to put in the work. You're not going to put in as much work as me because I dedicated I would say I estimate about 40,000 hours drawing chart lines and trend lines. About 40,000 hours. So my goal is to teach you all the mistakes I've done to reduce that time significantly. You might have to spend a few hundred hours doing it. And that's the whole point why this is not a 3-day course or a 5-day course. I'm offering it in installments so you could, learn it for a month and then come back next month and progress and come back next month and progress and come back next month and progress, because this is something that needs to be hammered inside you. But I will tell you this. Once you get on that level where you're able to really understand these trend lines, it's going to change the way you trade for the rest of your life. I will say that. That's the good news. It's funny. I saw the movie Commuter over the weekend, and of course it's Liam Neeson. And just as every other Liam Neeson movie, somebody's out to kill my family, and I must stop them, and I have to do some crazy stuff to stop these people from killing my family. And I'm like, oh, all right, you're the perfect guy for the role. I haven't seen the last 20 films you did with the same theme. And in the beginning of the movie, it was actually funny because they were playing, if you're old school and you're from New York, they're playing the 10-10 Wins radio song. That's his alarm clock. It's like 10-10 Wins. Like, you give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world. And if you remember that from 10-10 Wins, that's, that was the radio station playing for him. So, for me, it's not 22 minutes, I'll give you the world, but if you put in some time, and this is honestly, this is the worst way historically to pitch somebody because nobody likes to put in the time, but if you could put in an hour a week into drawing these trend lines, an hour a week, and you go through with these courses, you're going to be a master of drawing lines. So I'm not asking you for 40,000 hours, but I am asking you for 12 hours a year. And again, as I was told before, they were telling me that's a bad sell point for the product because everybody is lazy. You shouldn't do that. Well, you know what? I shouldn't lie to you either. So that's what you're getting yourself into. But you will be the best at technical analysis. You will be better than 99.99% of your peers at just reading a chart. You will be. And you're going to combine that with everything else you know, because drawing trend lines doesn't say forget what you know. It's the opposite. It's combine this of what you know. It's a confluence of strategies combined and conjoined into one single living entity. And if anybody in this world tells you that technical analysis is 1% different than when I said walk away from them. Okay? Walk away from them. So, with that being said, you know, I gave my feelings towards it, and let's get into some of the other stuff here. So, everybody was sort of waiting for this. See, it's funny. You expect profit taking the name. It depends how you define. I guess it depends on how much. But if anything horrible goes on, you have to remember, like JB Hunt was trading at $100 on October. Was trading at $100 on November 20th. November 20th was like a month and a half ago, and this stock is already up 20%. So we have to see exactly what profit taking entails. But you see these lines I draw, like this is what I shared with some of the biggest firms in the world. Like when they hire me, when I'm contracted to work, again, I don't need to drop names. You guys have already a good idea of who I worked for. There's NDA agreements and whatnot, but I'm basically showing you exactly the same thing I'm showing them without like a $75 to $100,000 contract. So I'm teaching you what I'm teaching them at a micro fraction of the cost. And what I am trying to accomplish here, what I am trying to accomplish with this course is at the end of the day, I want to turn the average Joe trader into something bigger on the next level. And that is my goal, to help people make money. And when you make money, to do well for you and your family, of course, and then help much, much, much less fortunate people, which there are plenty in this world, and we're going to make a difference. And if I humbly believe that we're going to make a difference, I have to start by showing you one of the best ways to make money so you can make that difference. And at the end of the day, that is why I'm teaching this course. Believe me, if you ask my wife, I cannot stand teaching a course on this. I spent 40,000 hours in my life charting. I have the right to be sick of it. Not sick of it, I love it. To me, it's like the only thing that makes sense. But I have the right to, not want to teach this anymore. I really do. And the truth is, I don't. I really don't want to do this course. Why? Because it's a pain in the ass to try to really explain to hundreds of people exactly why I'm doing this. It is. It is. But out of the sheer love and the things, like I told myself this. I was telling my wife about it, who I don't spend much time with now anyway, which is my own problem because I'm like in front of my computer trying to do all this stuff over the weekend. So I told her this, I told her this straight up. I have a son. So I said, look, if this was our son, I would do it for him because he's family. And she said, why? Well, she says, of course you would, because he's family. And then I told her, the people in my room are family too. And as soon as I said that, she understood exactly what I was getting at, and she was cool of it. She was cool with it. So again, we're gonna make a lot of money. I'm gonna show you how to increase your profits with adding something to what you're already doing. And that's pretty much it. Look, I took a couple new overnights. I want to discuss that. Well, oh, you guys want the game plan to my new Forex orders. Okay, I want to explain one of the Forex orders as well, because we sort of caught something here. Sorry for the delay. If you're in the room, you don't have to copy this because it's going to be in your email box. If you are inside my room and you are a member of the room and you did not, for whatever reason, email me at mark.melnick@t3live.com to be part of my list, in which I just literally blast out exactly what you see on your screen every night, email me now, and if you're a member, you can be part of that list for free. So here's what I was watching. So I've noticed something. I want to highlight a couple trades I lost money on Friday. So I had a losing day on Friday, minor compared to what I did. And I want to talk about the First Solar overnight. I just really want to highlight this losing trade. Did I lose on KBH as well? I did, but I think First Solar was a good one to talk about. So what I did was I was presented with this information in First Solar right here. So this is what First Solar looked like on the daily before the close on Thursday, and I bought option calls in First Solar, very light. I didn't lose a lot in it, and then it pulled in, and I lost money the next day. Um, and the funny thing was, on Thursday the options were, I did it through option calls from it was next week's option calls, which is the week coming up. And I just want to talk about shares versus options on some of these. And what I've really noticed is when I look back, I'm making more money on these little crapper names that I don't generally trade on these overnights, as opposed to bigger, more established companies like a First Solar. So, like, for example, the big trade we had last week was Kodak. What happened was Tuesday, besides for reading Kodak, we did a pretty damn good job at it and taking an overnight, and then it gapped up and we sold our options by $13.20, and the high of the day was 13.28, which was just lucky. Maybe to me it didn't matter if it went to $17 after, but we just happened to sell the top that day, and that was a very good trade. Kodak is a little crapper name. I consider was a little crapper name, low market cap, beaten up names that are not participating in the overall market rally. So let me give you an example why I think I like names like this. WPCS is because I could just come in the morning and sell it in the pre-market even. HEAR, I could come in the morning and sell it in the pre-market. So these two names that you get right here, we actually took before the close. We actually took these two names before the close. And we do have a service. We do have a service in which you could be part of the Twitter service. And I'm telling you, if you're here every day and you're in front of your screen every day between 3:30 and 4 in our room, you don't need the Twitter. You don't need the service, because you'll be getting the same thing that people who are not in front of their screens get. But the service is officially up now. If you're in YouTube and you have a full-time job and you want to create alpha pretty damn consistently and get trades like Kodak and get trades like that we're taking in our game plan ahead of time as opposed to at night now, you could sign up for the service. It's like $29.99 a month. I guess that's $360 for the year. And what it does is it's designed for small accounts. So I'm designing the strategy now for small accounts. Not only is it more consistent for me to play these little names like HEAR and WPCS, but it's pretty much designed that even somebody with a $5,000 account could come in and just start building it with putting in virtually no effort whatsoever. Virtually no effort. You come in, you're working your primary job, you don't have time to look at the market, you have mouths to feed, bills to pay, and you have a little account sitting there, and you're like, I really wish I could put it to work, but I don't know what to do with it because I can't really dedicate time to the market. This is what you could do with it. This is part of the good I'm doing for the world. So, with all the sub, if you took every market cap sub 500 million, which tends to be the smaller names, not the Apples, not the Googles, right? Not the First Solars. If you take like sub $500 million market cap names, you would be batting 93% to this date on sub 500 million market cap names. What do I mean by batting 93%? Or 930 batting average, which is obviously obnoxiously high in the market. And for baseball, you would just be the highest paid athlete alive. But um, for trading, why is it a big deal? Am I going to continue to bat 93%? I don't know. For me, I just want to bat over 70. I want to bat 70% or higher. That is my goal. So, what do I mean by that? What I mean is, with this Twitter service, you'll get a tweet every day practically. Oh, I mean, I would doubt there'd be one day where you don't get it. If there isn't anything that fits my parameters, it's one day. But pretty much almost every day, you're going to get a tweet that says, long WPCS at this price, at $1.45. And then you're going to see a tweet the next day, sold WPCS at $1.55. Bought this stock XYZ at $1.20. Sold XYZ at $2. And what you're going to do is eventually you're going to constantly build upon and create alpha for your account. And that service is specifically, I mean, it's designed with the trader in mind that has no time to trade and wants to make money in a potentially small. It works on larger accounts too. Anything that works in smaller accounts works on larger accounts, not vice versa. You could take trades in larger accounts that you'll never do in smaller accounts. Smaller accounts, if a trade works for a smaller account, it works for every single account out there. And that's the beautiful thing about what I'm doing. So it definitely fits that. It definitely fits the lazy trader, as I like to call them, the traders who like to throw, money at the market here and there, but are not dedicating their time to the market. And of course, they're traders who are spending more than full-time market hours every single day, like myself, who will also benefit from it. But if you're a member of this room and you're hardcore, like the majority are, you don't need to be there every day. Okay. Um, all right, so somebody's reminding me about the US dollar Swiss. Looks like I missed it. Um, what I'm saying is, like, for example, here's a perfect example of my trend line. Like, this is what I'm going to teach you how to do. So, like, for example, on USD CHF, I could have told you a week ago that we would have had support at 0.96095 down here. And you could have bought near the bottom. It would have blipped it slightly and shot up. Um, so that's going to be more of the trend line course. Another example is a lot of you guys got an alert, a Forex alert. And again, this is actually, in my opinion, the easiest of services. So we caught Euro Aussie dollar. So my buy on Euro Aussie dollar was 1.53545. Here, let's just draw it out. And I want to show you what the trendline course is going to teach you. This is not being Captain Hindsight. This is a full take profit stock we caught between yesterday and today when I emailed you guys out. So Euro Aussie dollar, our bid was 1.53545. Day low 1.53527. Now again, it doesn't always happen like this, but if you notice, we talk about it all the time because it happens quite frequently. And I need to let you understand how close of an entry that is. And of course, it shot up through 1.54 where I took my stop profit. It would have shot up even twice as hard. But like, to explain to you, like, I'm going to teach you how to catch that, how to catch the day low of, and I'm using Euro Aussie dollar. It works with stocks too. A chart is a chart. It really doesn't matter. But to catch a day low that's 0.00018 away is the same like saying Apple has a support at $175 and the day low is $174.99 and 8/10 of a cent. It's literally that close. It's literally that close when you're actually buying things like this. So again, congrats to all those who caught it, and if you didn't, don't worry about it. I laugh about it. It's just one trade. It doesn't matter. There's going to be many more. I've caught a trade, I got stopped out on a trade, I caught a trade, I got stopped out on a trade, and now I catch a trade. Overall, in the long run, we're going to make a lot of money in the Forex markets. Like, I don't have a single, not 1 inch of doubt in my name. That's why you keep seeing my size increase so substantially in the Forex markets, because I keep upgrading it every single month I'm making money. So, with that being said, that's about it. We have earnings season. Hopefully, we get that news flow in which I talked about, in which where could potentially make a lot of money. And I guess that little Newsbeat thing is covering my email, even though ironically the Newsbeat thing has my email, as you can see. Okay. So if there's any analysis I can offer you guys, now would be the time to ask. If you're listening on YouTube and you want to ask me a question, email me. Mark.Melnick at t3live.com. You can ask any question that I can legally answer you with. I don't give, relationship advice, but if you have a question for the market or something stock related, go ahead and ask. All right, thoughts on Goldman Sachs long, please, Ravi. How about you ignore this one, because they're going to be reporting earnings and I'll be going over this one prior to earnings. In English, what am I saying? That this chart means absolutely nothing. They're going to report earnings and it's going to spike up or down. I will analyze it for you the day before. They're actually, hold on, they're not reporting tomorrow, are they? Before market. No, they're not. They're reporting, so Goldman Sachs is reporting Wednesday pre-market, so Tuesday between 3:30 and 4 when we're doing our overnights. I'll make a call on Goldman Sachs. I'll either take it or ignore it, and then I'll let you know my feelings. But for now, there's nothing I could show you on this chart that's going to justify a long or a short entry based on that fact that they're reporting Wednesday. You have calls expiring this week. They're probably expensive calls, Josh. What percentage of capital should we put in earnings? I think I already answered that. If I, 1%, it depends on your account size. I obviously cannot put 1% of my money behind all these trades because that would just be, I'm not willing to risk that much money on these trades, but, you know, almost forgot. Yeah, Ricardo. Any update on the price for the Twitter service? So I, I believe it's $30 a month. And because unfortunately it's not being run the way I wanted to, which would have made the service for you guys about 67% cheaper. I unfortunately, for legal reasons, with the way T3 is regulated, had to do it through this Twitter service. I believe it's $30 a month for everyone, and I'm not going to be able to give any discounts to the room as a result. And again, it's not the way I wish to have run it. If you're in the room every day from 3:30 to 4, I wouldn't even sign up for it. If you're not in the room every day from 3:30 to 4, without a doubt I would sign up for it. That's my feelings. Any recording if unable to attend the live class? Absolutely happy. 100%. What's the link for the trendline course? Let's see. Trendline course. Trendline course. Give me a second here. Again, if you're interested in the trendline course, you can go ahead and email T3 if you're on YouTube. If you're in the room here, I'll post it. That's the link, one of the links to the course. It's the link that I got through my email. Appreciate that, Kathy. Thanks. Yeah, Kathy is good like that. Definitely much healthier to buy McDonald's stock than to eat at McDonald's. I agree with that, Ricardo. Happy, I mean. You having technical difficulties? I don't think so. Yeah, look, if you can dedicate an hour a week for this course, I mean, honestly, it just might not be for you because the whole point is to teach you what the biggest black box firms on the planet are doing when they're buying. You want to know when Goldman is buying? You want to know when Morgan Stanley and Merrill Lynch? You want to know where their black boxes are buying things? You do? Take this course. You know, you're sitting there with an account and you're busy doing other things and you don't have time to just sit here and play with these charts. Don't waste your time or money. More importantly, your time. I mean, it's not a lot of money, the course, but you know, you're not going to get a lot. If trading isn't, a primary goal of yours, I would sign up. If trading isn't a primary goal of yours, I would just sign up for the Twitter service because that would really help you make money. If you're not going to sit here with a chart and draw lines all day, don't do it. That's my thoughts on it. Yeah, tell me about it, Ricardo. Is it 12 separate courses, one for each month? It's one course. I'm hoping T3 runs it 12 times, and pretty much whenever it is run in the future, which I'm hoping should be once a month. See, it's not up to me. Otherwise, I would just give you a straight answer. I'm hoping T3 runs it once a month, and if you're a member of this room, you won't have to pay more than once. If you're not a member of this room, it's going to cost you $2,400 for the 12 courses. So, if you're listening on YouTube, it might actually just pay to become a member of the room. We had the open house. And I'll make it easy on you guys. Look, Amber, T3Live.com. Like, right in the middle there is Amber's email. Just tell her that Mark said that I could get the open house rate for the course because we didn't even start the new weekend. The open house just ended. If you're interested in the course, you could probably sign up for a 50-60% discount to the room and then take the course, and it would be, you would probably save a ton of money, maybe over $1,000 you would save just doing that. And again, it's just because I look to take care of the members of the room as best as I can. I put them first. But if you do sign up for the room, if you're interested in the course, and not the room, you would be still part of that discount if you're part of the room. So it'd be cheaper for you to be a member of the room, even if you never step foot in. And of course, you're welcome to step foot in and then just take the course. If you're watching on YouTube and you're interested, email her. That's Amber at T3Live.com. If we miss a night of the course, will there be an email? Yeah, there should be. I have no reason to believe there won't be a recording for every single course. And you could go ahead and ask and have T3 put their stamp on it. I'm sure they'll tell you yes. I'm going to record it myself, so I'll ensure you get it too. So don't worry about it. Yeah, so, yeah, my wife is not feeling well and whatever, and my son is a wild child, so I'll definitely let her know that you appreciate it. I let her know how much I appreciate her, and I'm a very lucky man to have her in my life. I'm definitely the lucky one in the relationship. Like, it's not even close, but I'm grateful for that. You still don't get my emails, and you did email. I'll add you again, Ricardo. I have no idea why. What do I think about BB tomorrow? With news coming from the car show. Interesting question. So BlackBerry, to me, looks bullish because you pulled back to this exponential 8. So when you broke 1337 leet on January 11th, I already said, okay, look, BlackBerry bottomed. Maybe you break out through 1370 again. You blipped it on Friday. I just think it looks bullish with or without the car show. So we'll see. Ricardo, AVEO. That's AVO Pharmaceuticals. This would have been an potential overnight candidate for me. It's breaking out solid. If you're blessed and it pulls back and you want to buy in support, $2.98. CLBS, another little crapper. as I so endearingly call it these days. Trying to break out over the 200, kind of funky. I say funky because a lot of weird things happen by 200 moving averages. Watch $4.12. Yeah. Cool, happy. Thank you. I hope it helps you make more money. DTST. Can't even pull it up. Must be some pink sheet thing that I can't get the thing in. Is the course at 4:30 or 5? Um, I don't know. I mean, on my list, on my side, it's saying 4:30. So I don't have a smart answer to that. I'll be there 4:30 if it starts at 5. I mean, I'll be there 4:15. That's a great question. I wish I knew. Either way, if you miss part of it, you will get a recording. And for members of the room, you will. If you have any questions that you had to leave and you couldn't ask live, you guys know I'm going to answer all your questions, of course. Mark.Melnick at t3live.com, and I'll take the time and answer it. I might even do it in the room. I might just take an hour out of the room if the market slows down and just say, does anyone have any questions from the trendline class? Try to help you make, you know, improve on your trading. I sold my love. Any good recommendation in airline stocks now? No, not really, because all the airlines look powerful. So LUV looks good if you can buy it at $62.16 tomorrow. So for me, a lot of these names need to digest first. I'll let you know how I feel. APTO in Canada is up. Nice. Aptos. Interesting. US dollar Mexican peso thoughts. Love the pullback. Love the pullback because I want the peso to strengthen against the US dollar. My thoughts on the US dollar Mexican peso, it bottomed. Maybe even for the week. US dollar Mexican peso is a buy right here, right now. Okay. Let me do it for you. I'm going to buy the US dollar Mexican peso, guys. I'm going to buy very light, just a quarter of like 0.25, just because I'm chasing, and that's not what I do. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Click. I'm in. Okay. Stop loss 18.7869. 18.7869. Is that the smartest stop loss? I'll do my stop loss 18.735, actually. 18.735 will be my stop loss. And my take profit level will be 19.08. Modify will be 19.08. Modify. Yeah. Look, pretty much after the election, the Mexico got destroyed versus the dollar. And all of a sudden after January, the irony is, even though the market was going up after the 2016 elections, the irony is the peso just started strengthening magnificently. I mean, and look at that plummet. I mean, strengthen meaning this price right here is how many Mexican pesos equal a dollar. When I went to Cancun when I was, 19, 20, 21 years old, it was 4 pesos to the dollar. That was a day when the peso was powerful. I'd love it to return that way. I think it's good for the Mexican economy to have a strong peso. And I think the Mexican peso bottomed, so I went ahead and bought it. So that's my thoughts on it, Pedro. Barbara, can you tell us what you believe would be the appropriate size one based on my conviction level? For example, if one has a $100,000 or $1,000,000 account, to keep the number simple, can you tell us how much you would allocate to a trade depending on conviction level, and also depending on whether the trade is done through options or stocks? So, Everybody has a different risk parameter. The truth is, Barbara, there's no simple response. If I'm doing a low conviction options trade and I have $100,000 account or $1 million account, I'm doing 1 to 5%. So $1 to $5,000 on the 100,000, 10 to 50 on the million, through options, for example. If it's through stocks, it depends on where my stop loss is. I can go heavier in stock with a tighter stop loss with low conviction. If I have a very wide stop loss, I'd go lighter. It's unfortunately too generalized of a question. Coherent? Let's see. What trend line did you draw? 12.4 to 12.5? 12.4 to 12.5. Okay. All right. That is a legitimate trend line. Yep. Be nice if it pulled back there for a buy. Obviously, I don't want that to happen if you're already long, but I like what you're watching there, Kathy. Happy Twitter. Beautiful. Breakout would be 25.85. It's a very bullish name. GE, also very bullish. Where does it pull back if you need to buy it now? It's easy to hold if you're already long. In terms of support here, tomorrow, I would say you have the level $18.22 as support. Twitter service has been published in T3 Live, costs us $29.95. Yep, there you are. Thank you, Happy. Baba, your long calls but not thrilled. Look bearish. Yep. I think it could pull down. I have a hard time saying it looks bearish. That's not true. It depends on your time frame. Like swing wise, does Baba look bearish to me with the all-time high being $192.49? Not really. But does Baba look like it could pull down here? Let's see what happens when it bangs against this 8. Does it blip it a little and bounce? Key level to be bullish in Baba tomorrow, Kathy, 186.78. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, thank you for waiting. Let's get back to your questions. AGN. Um, $171.63, Ravi. I'm not on board with that idea, Barbara. I, there's ways to hedge millions of positions. I'm not against. I'm not against it at all. I'm not. So I disagree that I seem to be not on board with the idea. It's just, I guess, more of, if you feel like you want to hedge it, go for it. If you feel like you don't want to hedge it, don't do it. So there's many ways to look at that. I'm not against it at all. Priyanka, INCY. I rarely do it, but I'm not against it per se. Looks like you're trying to hold above this support line here. Could play it long versus 92.52. Ignore KSU because they're reporting this week, and it really doesn't matter what this chart looks like. It's going to move up or down based on how it needs to. So I'm going to tell you pass on this one and be careful if you're in it, unless you know you want to bet it. You want to bet on it for earnings. Sprouts, I still think Walmart should buy out Sprouts. And why am I saying this? I said the same thing with Amazon buying out Whole Foods 6 months before they did it, and I kept saying it, constantly that they should do it. I feel the same way that Walmart should buy out Sprouts Farmers Market. I see a $30 target at least. I kept that $30 target after it got Amazoned. After they bashed this thing down to 17 and a half bucks. Still bullish on it. Nothing changed. Sears. I think they had some crypto talk on it the other day. Sears. I don't. I don't know. Breakout maybe 374. Is it GBTC? Are they really doing a 99 for 1? My pleasure, Michelle, and thank you. I'll be sure to tell her. You don't get it. You're a member of the room and paid $195 for the course 10 minutes ago. Should you call Amber? No, you should not call Amber, Ricardo. Because as a member of the room, you're going to be able to take my course again and again and again without paying the further $195. Mark, for those of us who have already taken the course last year, do you recommend retaking? I do. I do recommend retaking the course because my last year's course was focused on a myriad of technical indicators. This is a focus on trend lines. I'm not going to be talking a lot about moving averages. I'm not going to be talking a lot about pivot points. I'm going to be putting a hard focus on trend lines. I already see that you do trend lines well. I would. Let me put it this way to you. I'm creating the course with my knowledge I have of trend lines today, and the person's actually creating the course, I would pay for this course. And when I release a product, by the way, that's how I treat every one of my products. I say, would I pay for it? Would I pay for a Twitter service that's giving me feeds like I'm giving me? Yes. Would I pay for this room, for a room that's showing me this information? Yes. Would I take this course? Everything. If I ever come up with the answer no, I don't throw the course. And it really dawned on me about 6-7 years ago when I was broadcasting, and I said, would I pay for my broadcasting service? And I say, no, I suck. I would not do it. And I had a large following. I mean, people, 6-7 years ago would swear by my room. They really did. And I was not happy with it. And I thought I sucked because at the end of the day, I thought to myself, would I pay money to join my room like 6-7 years ago? And I said, no, I wouldn't. Because I didn't see the value of, hyper scalping certain trades that I was doing. I was able to hyperscalp it. I was able to make money, and I was able to do it in real time. But it was too hard, and it was like almost a strict focus on hyperscalping. I've evolved so much since then through adding news flows, through doing longer term swing trades, for doing just shorter term swing trades, still scalping, doing longer term and shorter term intraday trades. Then I was like, okay, now I'll do it. So if you actually want to know, I actually stopped broadcasting a room for like a year and a half, 2 years. I actually took a break in between where I was broadcasting on Skype to a few people that I knew, but I actually stopped running a room because I wanted to grow myself into where I would be more of a value to a potential crowd of listeners or subscribers. So, with that being said, yeah, absolutely, Kathy. You'd have to be insane not to take it, in my opinion. Netflix, Keshia, never been higher. Easy to hold if you're long. If you're not long, hard to buy. Do you want to be that person buying Netflix at all time highs? I don't. You would need a massive pullback for me to get interested. We're talking a break of $200, so I couldn't. I could tell you a good level of where it might top out. That I could give you. And again, this level is going up every day because it's an ascending level. But for example, tomorrow if we hit 231, if we go up 10 points in Netflix, I might short it. Wouldn't look forward to either of those scenarios. Fareed, what do I think of CNIT? Do I think this thing could hold above $3 this week? Yeah, I do. I do. I think you had a very nice resolution here on CNIT. Stock was as high as 520. Just look for a break of $3.18 and you're looking great. Win. Interesting. Nice breakout. Watch the trigger 166.34, Kathy. Barbara, my thoughts on Facebook long. Do you think it'll bounce to 185? I don't know. My thoughts on Facebook long come in at 174.44 tomorrow if it falls down. My thoughts on Kodak long, I sort of like it. I want to see if it could fall first, but if, for example, tomorrow, Barbara, we start flying towards 990, I'm just going to buy it with a setup like this. I hope it goes down, and if it doesn't, I might chase it a little higher. I wouldn't buy it at 920. I might buy it at 980. It's kind of funny in that situation. The true support where I really like it tomorrow, $6.92. Don't hold your breath for that. Is Street Smart Edge platform good enough for the trendline course, or do you think I need another package? If so, what would I recommend? Here's the thing. You need to be, I would recommend everybody get freestockcharts.com for the course. Everybody should have freestockcharts.com. If you use another charting software which you like TC2000 is the same as Free Stock Charts. That's fine too. Basically, you need the ability to pull up a daily chart and draw trend lines. You need to have the ability to have a daily chart and draw trend lines. That's a prerequisite for the course. On free stock charts, I can hold control, left click, and drag. And the beautiful thing is, let's say for example, I want to draw a trend line on Kodak here, and I want it to touch the top, for example, right here. Look at this. You can literally just take it and drag it, and look how it clicks in. Click. See that? Click. It's like a magnet. Click, click. It clicks the top, so it gives you extreme accuracy on drawing your trend lines. When I see some people draw trend lines, I'm not going to name the person in the firm because he's a good friend of mine, and you guys obviously know him. And I saw the way he draws trend lines, and I was at the Christmas party, and I saw him. I'm like, bro, what are you doing when you draw those trend lines? Like, I was looking at him like, I told him to take my course, and he says he was going to do it. So we left it like that. Trend lines is an exact science. Don't let anyone tell you that it's a random estimation. of anything. Yeah, sometimes stocks you're not going to buy to the exact penny. I'm not saying that, but the actual drawing of the trend lines itself is an exact science. How I know is because the way I help programmers program in my trend lines when designing black box code is an exact mathematical formula. There are no estimates. It's not around this level. It's here. Ever notice when you ask me where to buy, I give you a level. I don't say, maybe here. If I give you an estimate, sometimes two support lines are 5 cents apart, so I'll say, all right, $20.95 to $21. I'll give you a range like that, but anybody who gives you a range like, between the $70 and $72, $70 and $73 range, that's just so lazy. It's like people buying at 73 don't want to lose 3 points, okay? Can't give someone a range like that. Makes me nauseous. Yeah, Roger, I would check out free stock charts or TC2000 or any other charting software. If you like, I don't use the charting software on Street Smart Edge. I have Street Smart Edge. I've made a lot of money on Street Smart Edge. Um, if you like those charts and you could pull up a daily and get like on your daily chart, you should be able to go back to like at least January 2016 for 2 years. If you could do that, you're fine. Thoughts on STX long? Looks great. Where would I buy it tomorrow on a pullback if I wanted to go long? $49.71. Priyanka TRV, the Travelers Company. See, I know like you guys watch me draw these trend lines, I make it look easy, but that comes with the experience. That's what I'm trying to teach you how to do. Like you see me draw these like trend lines, like wow, you do it so fast. Like somebody actually asked me during the open house, do you have a program that does that for you? I'm like, no, I'm actually doing all these lines completely manually. And by the way, you know how FinViz can draw trend lines for you? I actually was in contact with FinViz many years ago, helping them design the lines on their website. And at the end of the day, I told them it sucked. I said, pay me and I'll fix it. And they didn't want to pay me. And I said, okay, good luck. So that's actually a little funny fact for you guys. TRV, where I would buy it tomorrow, 131.55. Medium conviction, I don't know. It depends on your account size. It's too hard. For example, if you have an 8-figure account, I can't just go ahead and say I'm going to dedicate. If you have a $10 million account, I can't just go ahead and say I'm buying $100,000 worth of options, or 500,000, or $1 million worth of options, because options just doesn't work like that once you start getting with very high buying power. You're going to have to figure that one out yourself, unfortunately. Sure thing, Roger. So what are you looking for next, Kathy? Buy point at this point? A level to go long? I'll track it for you. Any thoughts on Seco? No. Kind of garbage gap up and crap down is that? I don't like reading. What is that? Like, what the hell kind of move is that? Pump and dump? Could break out through 1080. I'm not touching this one. Target on CDK. That one looks a little nicer. Is that all-time highs? It's all-time highs. It's never been stronger. In terms of a buy point on this one, Barbara, it would have to go down to like 72.30. Oh, there's an upgrade on from Jeffries on Baba. Thank you, Dave. Netflix Kesha, I think we just went over that one. So on Netflix, Kesha, I was talking like you'd really have to pull down like under $200 if I'm going to be bullish on this one, which is kind of hard because again, the stock rallied from December 20. Basically the stock rallied in like 10, 12 trading days from like 186 to 222. So you got a $36 move. If you're talking about buying this at this point, we need to have a dramatic down move. Amazon, yeah, that's kind of funny. Alta, this is looking good for a further bounce. Yeah, it is. Failed the 200 moving average. Let's see if we could get back to it. I think it's what the. Do I think it's? Hold on. What do I think would be a good swing and plug? Any buy by 2.25. 2.25 to 228 would be that level. I think it's possible the run in overstock is over. It's possible, but I'm sort of wondering why that's even a question. And I'll explain to you why. Let's say yes, you're right, which I don't agree with. Which you're not even saying, you're just suggesting, you're asking a question. Let's say you're right. Let's say the running over stock is over. It's overstock, it's stock over instead of overstock, right? I would never short a formation like this ever. It is on a powerful bull flag. It's tightening up. Yes, it had a magnificent rally since we called it out on YouTube and told you guys under $30. I get that. And it was a phenomenal call, which we all made some form of money on, which was awesome. I get that. I mean, are you thinking a shorting it? No, no. This stock has to hold 78.53. I'm not saying it can't break down. I'm just saying with a setup like this and no bad news that I'm reading, I would never short this. Too many better ideas. Do I have shorts on FNGN? Um, the best argument, by the way, you'd be able to make for overstock is it went up too much. And I always find that a bad reason to short, just like I find a bad reason to go long something because it went down too much. Really, I let Wall Street come up with that conclusion. I think it's bad when your reasoning for buying something or shorting something is it went down or up too much. So FNGN had support. You should take my trendline course because you would have been able to catch it on Thursday's low, as you can see here. Now you're in the middle of the range. I don't have strong opinions. I'm neutral on FNGN. Is there a way you can purchase a recording of my last educational session? If you can't attend, if you pay for it now, you get the recording. My last educational session, I don't know. Does T3 still have it? Maybe somewhere? I'll have to ask. You should probably ask, actually. Email them and ask them that same question. Ricardo, DAIO, end of the pullback. What do I suggest doing before earnings? Depends if you want the earnings risk. I mean, stocks do crazy things during earnings. For me, the true support tomorrow on DAIO is $9.88. I don't have any opinion at the moment with their earnings coming up. It's just, what do you want to do? What do I suggest doing before earnings? I suggest saying, what has it done before on earnings? Are you willing to take that risk? The stock looks strong. I don't know if it will go up or down on earnings. I usually try to exit positions that I'm not looking to swing for a long time when earnings come up. My pleasure, Fareed. Halliburton actually moves with Schlumberger and their reporting. Stock is mega powerful. You're going to have to wait a long time before I call this one long on Halliburton. Like like this one, Miles. I mean, $44 and change. I mean, we're talking like this stock just took off. Ravi, LRCX. Um, True support tomorrow will be 186.84. If you could hit it and then close above it, you'd be bullish. Happy. Is sell still a good long? In my opinion, yes. Again, I listed it as my favorite stock if you read my 2018 report, and it pretty much has been grinding straight up ever since my 2018 report came out. As you guys know, I'm in a very, very large position in SailPoint Technologies. A move lower or higher from here wouldn't make me blink. To be honest, I'm not even excited looking at the stock working for me here. And even if it hit $20 again, I wouldn't blink. I mean, for me, this might be a longer term swing hold. I think this is going to take over the entire industry when it comes to um, computer protection and safety measures for major companies. They have the best retention rate that I personally ever witnessed for a retention company. And I guarantee you that other companies right now are in a really weird pickle with a company like this taking over their business. I released my thoughts in the 2018 report. Do I think it's a good buy here? I don't like, as a rule of thumb, buying things at day highs. Would I rather do happy? Look for 2 down days in a row and then maybe 2 or 3 down days in a row and then go long. I don't even care if it goes to 20 and then down to 18 on 2 days. Then maybe that's the buy. But as a rule of thumb, I don't like buying at all-time highs. Even though I think, yes, that this stock could be worth more. I mean, it's my number one stock of the year. So yeah, I do think it goes up higher, and I'm bullish on earnings too. Any thoughts on Tech Long Stan? That's Tech Resources. Yeah, but we're looking at a move down to like 25, 28 to buy it. I mean, the stock just went vertical. At this point, you know, what are you afraid of? That's going to run to 32 or 34 without you? I'd wait for the pullback at this point. Very bullish though. If you're in it, congratulations. It's easy to hold, but to open up a fresh position here, I couldn't do. My pleasure, Kathy, as always. Casa, Su Casa Systems are my Casa Systems. Wow. Support tomorrow, $19.30. Looks awesome. Let's see. Mark Hershey, Jeff. Alright, so Hershey's got really quite the smackdown. Your answer is yes. Jeff, if you asked me, Mark, where would you buy Hershey's on Friday, I would have given you the level of $109.11. Ironically, you hit 109.23. So for tomorrow, if you're asking where to buy Hershey's, 109.06, it's too close to the 200 moving average. Let $109 flush through. Let it go lower. Buy any shares that you can underneath 109 seems like the right strategy, in which I would do on Hershey's at these levels. Love it. Have a good one, Kathy. Keshia, thoughts on Alder? Very bullish, but don't you love when I say that? You have an ascending channel. Generally, these things break down and then come back up. So, what do I mean here? Break down and come back up. Well, you see BlackBerry? BlackBerry was putting a rising wedge in. And basically, when BlackBerry was breaking out here, and we sold our calls very profitably, is one we caught, I said, let it resolve down on the rising wedge, buy it on the exponential 8. That was my call right over here on January 8th. It went up, pulled down to the exponential 8 at $13.37. It actually hit $13.33 and then bounced to $13.73 the next day. So the same reason why BlackBerry's doing that, Keshia, Same reason why I think the same exact thing needs to happen in ALDR. Now, not to say it doesn't go up, not to say that you can't grind up over an even $19. The risk reward is starting to look skewed here. I still want to buy it. I just want it to drop to this yellow line on my chart first, which is an exponentially moving average. James, how can you get the 2018 report? Just email me and ask for it if you're a member of this room. That's it. That's all you need to do. It'll be my pleasure, and I'll send it to you right away. Mark.Melnick at T3Live.com. Oracle happy? Already long? Alright, so you have a good price. Looks bullish. Any support and resistance levels? Support tomorrow is 49.03. Resistance is a simple break of Friday's high of 49.83 in Oracle. Oh, it's inside the portal as well? Either way, James, you could check it in your portal, or you can just simply email me. I obviously don't have access to the portal. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and answer questions. Hold on. Okay. Lakeisha, you're added. Mike, I think you are on the list. David, you're going to be added. Steve, you're added. Miles, you're added. Carter, you're added. Okay. Oh, welcome to the group. Okay. Okay, Francois, NVIDIA. Should you short NVIDIA at $217 like a put short term? I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you that I wouldn't do it. I could see the stock going down to 218, but I also see support in NVIDIA at 219.95. I could see it digesting down here, but I don't like the risk reward on a put because I think it could too easily break out. So my thoughts on that, Francois. Absolutely, Alan. I'll make sure that you get my report immediately. So the morning on Newsbeat Live, I'm usually in the room 7 o'clock a.m. You will not hear audio until 9 o'clock a.m. So officially, the audio part of Newsbeat starts at 9 o'clock a.m. I'm prepping for several hours before to get you the ideas for the day. So Facebook. For Facebook, yeah, I'm actually looking closer to 174.44. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Thoughts on Weight Watchers? Very bullish. Ever since Oprah said that she was thinking of running for president, her company is having an explosive move up. True support tomorrow at 57.74 Kesha. Hope you guys enjoyed the Newsbeat Nightly trading broadcast. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.